am so excited to dive into this week's episode because we are going to be talking all about decision fatigue, which is something that impacts all of us. But I have found some incredible hacks to help make our lives so much easier. And that is what I want to share with you today. Being an adult can be fun in so many ways. And in others, just not so much. And one of those ways is all of the decisions that we have to make all the time. And not just for ourselves, for a lot of people that live in our homes with us, that maybe we manage at work. There's just so many decisions all day, every day that we have to make. And I remember getting to the point where I felt like every decision I was making was the wrong one. And I am typically not someone that second guesses myself. When I make a decision, I just go with it and I don't look back until I have a reason to, because I feel like that overthinking just wastes so much time. But I remember getting to the point where I felt like every decision I was making was the wrong one because I was too exhausted to make good decisions or to frankly even care. And I'm talking small decisions like what to eat, and I'd end up buying groceries that I just didn't want to eat. So I had a fridge and pantry full of food that I'm like, I don't want any of this, to bigger decisions like what car to buy. And I ended up getting a car that I could barely drive. I sideswiped a parked car in a parking lot. So, oops, that was not a good decision. I had to give that car to my husband and get myself a car that was easier to drive. So I'm talking like small decisions and big decisions. And that was very eye-opening for me. Did I have to get to that breaking point in order to realize that like I needed to fix some things about all the decisions I had to make? Maybe, but I want to help you not get to that point. Decision fatigue is the idea that after making many decisions, your ability to make more decisions over the course of the day becomes worse. And the more decisions you have to make, the more fatigue you develop and the more difficult it becomes. So I remember reading that Steve Jobs, who wore a black mock turtleneck every day, and Mark Zuckerberg, who wears a hoodie every day, they wear the same thing every day to not waste a decision on what to wear. They just automated that decision. Here's what I wear. So I started an experiment where I replaced all of my workout clothes with the same pants, same bra, same tank. And I realized that that's one less decision I need to make in the morning. It doesn't matter which pant I pull out of my workout drawer because they're literally all the same. And you don't even think about these micro decisions that don't even matter. Like, does it matter what workout clothes you're going to wear if you're working out in the house? No, but you still have to decide what you're going to put on. Or you don't have to because you've eliminated that decision. So after my year of decluttering my house, I started experimenting with this concept in all of my routines, in every area of my life. And I built this into the membership. And as a reminder, doors to my membership are open now, and they close on Friday and will not open again until January of 2025. But the whole membership was built on this idea that we can automate so many things throughout our day, not just during the process of going through the membership. That I have automated for you. I've taken as many of those decisions away from you as possible, like giving you this reminders app and the calendar appointments and sending you emails and the videos that are, some of the videos are like literally a minute long to just give you one quick thing to go do. But it's not just in the process of getting organized. Once you go through the process, you have systematized your whole house so that you don't need to make decisions like, where should this go? Or what do I do in this space? Like, you've automated all those decisions so that you can actually save that brain space to make decisions that are more important. I have seen members who have little kids go back to work with no stress after going through the membership. I've seen members take stress-free vacations for the first time. I've had one member, this story, I always tell it because it just really, I think, speaks to the core of what I wanted for myself when I built the membership. She had little kids at home. She was on a work trip, which already triggers mom guilt for me. She came back home, and because hubby and the kids had gotten on board with the membership program, there was nothing for her to do once she got home. She unpacked her stuff. Once the kiddos were in bed, she was able to read a book guilt-free. After having been away on a work trip, there was nothing in her house she had to do. There were no decisions to be made. Her hubby and kids didn't have to make decisions because she had already made them when she went through the membership. We've taken all those decisions away. So there's just so much less to do. So she could read a book guilt-free. I love that story. So think about what it feels like to have to make so many fewer decisions in your day. So according to NIH, the National Institute for Health, it is estimated that an American adult makes 35,000 decisions a day. 35,000 decisions. Research out of Cleveland Clinic lists out signs and symptoms of decision fatigue. And I think these are super interesting. So I want to share them with you. Procrastination or decision avoidance is one of the most common responses to decision fatigue. It's like, you don't even care anymore. Like, it's what happened to me. You either can't make a decision, you're paralyzed, or you procrastinate the decision. Or impulsivity, which is the next piece of this, is you're just making bad decisions because, like, again, you don't care, you're exhausted. So when you've been making complex decisions all day, you find yourself being less careful about other choices that you have to make because you've used it in the best of scenarios, you've used your best brain space to make those complex decisions. So at least the less complex decisions that have a smaller impact on your life, like what to eat, for example, they have fewer consequences. Hopefully you're making worse decisions on at least the things that have less of an impact on your day. That's in the best of scenarios, but I know that that is not always the case. The next is exhaustion. Hello. Yes to all of that. Decision fatigue can be physically, mentally, and emotionally taxing. Brain fog is another one. If you feel like I just don't make good decisions anymore, my brain feels foggy, maybe it's because you're having to make too many decisions. Irritability is another one. If you're feeling irritable all the time, it could be because there's just so many damn things you have to decide in a given day. Overwhelmed. Now, Cleveland Clinic notes this, that getting overwhelmed is an issue in and of itself that should be looked at, but it also can be a signal of decision fatigue. Do you ever find yourself feeling like, why am I so overwhelmed by this very basic thing? Or I would look at some of my friends and be like, that person is so much more competent than I am. Like, why can they do that thing so easily? Why do I feel so overwhelmed by this? Oh, right. Because I am in decision fatigue. Another big one is regret. If you make a choice and are still ruminating about it hours later and questioning your decision, it could be a result of decision fatigue, like my car example. And physical discomfort. If you are feeling tension headaches or eye twitching or nausea or other stomach issues, those can be a result of the stress of having to make difficult decisions when you feel like you already don't have the ability to make those decisions. Okay, so all this feels a little doom and gloom, right? There's like, okay, here's what decision fatigue is, and we're all probably experiencing it to a certain extent. But what can we do about it? The thing that you can do is to remove choice from elements of your life that are possible to automate, like the example of Steve Jobs and Mark Zuckerberg, like my workout clothing example. So you can do this with your clothing. This is why some people love a capsule wardrobe. I don't subscribe to a capsule wardrobe, but I wear the same things over and over again because I know it feels good. I know what I like, and I don't want to have to make the decision. You can do this with your meal planning and prep. We basically eat the same meals on repeat with a little bit of variety because we just don't want to have to make the decision and then make bad decisions and make something we don't want. We'd rather eat the same things that we know we like on repeat than be making some bad choices and making dinners that no one in the family is going to eat. with the example of our homes. When we get our entire homes organized, we don't have to ask ourselves, like, where are we going to put the shoes? We know exactly where they go when we get home. We don't even think about it. Like in our house, we immediately take our shoes off and they go on the rack in our mudroom. It's not a decision. Our body is like automated into that routine at this point. How you do your laundry. We have a laundry schedule in our house that I share with my membership of when exactly we do clothes, when exactly we do sheets, when exactly we do towels. We don't have to ask ourselves the question. We have built this in. Another way to combat decision fatigue is to batch your tasks. So there's something that's called context switching, which is different from decision fatigue, but it is related to it. And it's this concept of when you are switching back and forth between doing different tasks, there is so much efficiency lost in brain space and in time that if you just batch your tasks together, you will save yourself that brain space. And you then also don't need to make decisions for your time. So spoiler alert, have recorded 4 podcast episodes today, even though they are not going to release, you know, all at once. They're going to come out a week apart from each other. But I've put them into my calendar. I don't need to ask myself, when am I going to possibly fit this in? It doesn't need to be something I stress about. I marked it on my calendar. I time blocked it and I get it all done. There's no decision around it. I had already predetermined what the topics were going to be. No decision fatigue about it. So there are certain decisions that we cannot take off our plate. We have to make them with our best energy. Those are the ones that I want us to have all of the stamina for. All the things that need to be decided, but the outcome of which don't have a huge impact on our life, like what we're going to wear, what we're going to eat. Are the kids' backpacks packed? Do they have their snacks? Where are we going to go on vacation? That's a fun one. There are ways that you can really automate all of these things. With the vacation example, my family and I created a notes app where we each weighed in on what vacations we would like to do over the next few years. We took a vote on it. We put them in the notes app by year. And when it's time to book a vacation, we look at the notes app and we already have it decided for us. So yes, we collectively made decisions on where to go, but now we don't have to make decisions for the next several years about where we want to vacation. And that feels so fun and so freeing. So if you spend the time going through your house, setting up systems for how you use every space in your home, what the expectations are for everyone in your home, you don't have to make any decisions about it. Like I don't have to tell my kids what to do in the morning. They don't have to decide if they're going to make their bed or not. They just know that they're going to. They don't have to decide what to do when they get home from school. They know the routine. Put your shoes away, pack your snacks for the next day. We've quote unquote automated these decisions. You still have to take the action, but you don't have to decide what you're going to do. And for me, the gift of this has been feeling like it majorly alleviates the pressure of being an adult. Because when I had my best thinking on, I made these decisions on how we want things to run. And now we just get to do it. And now I have the time and energy to put that brain space into the bigger decisions I want. I didn't build these businesses, Grit and Glam, and my other business, the Corinne Morahan brand, until I had put myself through the membership, because I didn't have the time, I didn't have the energy, and I didn't have the brain space to do it. But once I got our whole house and life organized and I automated all these decisions for ourselves, I was able to have so much more brain capacity to build a business that has impacted thousands of lives. I never could have done it without having gone through this process. So for me, I think it is super validating to know that this is a real thing. If you are feeling exhausted from being an adult, it might not just be the pressures of adulthood. It might actually be this idea that you're making 35,000 decisions in a day. And if you could reduce thousands and thousands and thousands of those, which is possible, think about just how much less tired you feel, how much more connected you would feel. And that's what we do inside the membership. So I've shared some tips with you today that you can put in place right now. And if you want to take a more holistic approach to this, I invite you inside the membership. Doors are going to close on Friday. Decision fatigue is seriously detracting you from your ability to enjoy life. And the membership will give you that joy back because I have made so many decisions for you. I've made as many as I possibly can. And together we will be making so many more so that by the end of it, you're like, I got this. I got my, Stella got her groove back. You are ready to live the life you want. So I will put the link to join the membership in the show notes, gritandglam.com/GG-membership. Go to the show notes. I hope you will join me because doors will not be opening again until January of 2025. And I would love to spend the next year with you so that 1 year from right now, we can reflect together on how much more lit up you feel and how much more fun you're having in life, how many fewer decisions that you're making. That is all possible for you, friend. I cannot wait to see many of you inside the membership. And the rest of you, I will be back in your ears next week.